G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Flapjack grenade launcher. Also included in this mod is a Flapjack machine gun. So these are both pan-fed machine guns, the machine gun variant firing the 50 caliber cartridges, and the Flapjack grenade launcher variant firing the 40mm grenades, the same ones from the Creation Club. That's a requirement here, the Creation Club makeshift weapon pack, which is kind of annoying, so a little bit of piracy later. I'm able to get that installed on the previous gen so we can actually use this mod, but a little bit of a requirement. If you are playing on next gen, then you've got it already, unless you've deleted it, and if you have, simply download it again. It's probably free. But I've got a bone to pick with this weapon because it's got a stupid name. Flapjack. What kind of name for that? They're obviously called pancakes. What is it with you Americans? Actually, no, don't answer that. Petty comment aside, this weapon mod features custom animations the same as the Lewis gun, so obviously they've just been engineered to work perfectly with those animations, and they do work quite well. And it uses custom sounds, the same sounds as the Creation Club grenade launchers for the grenade launcher variant, and the machine gun uses similar sounds to the M60 they used back in the day. It's the same one that I've got installed in Fallout 4 VR, so happy to have those sounds back. I think they sound pretty nice. There's also a little bit of customization involved with these two weapons, which you can upgrade them quite a bit, but as you can tell with this grenade launcher, without even touching this thing's attachments, we're already hitting for over 1,000 damage per shot. Now, keep in mind that that's, yes, very strong for a grenade, but compared to, say, the China Lake, where we've got a capacity that is way beyond that, you can see the grenades just tucked under the magazine there. Not only are we getting a high-capacity grenade launcher with a good rate of fire, we're getting 1,000 damage per shot, which is crazy. I'm getting DPS or whiplash here, my neck hurts. So you'll have to bear with me because I have a concussion from that. But the way I describe this, going from the China Lake to this thing, is that when you're in the shower, you turn the hot water on and it's going, it's a little bit lukewarm. It's not quite warm enough to keep you nice and comfortable in there. So you nudge the hot water spindle just that little bit to get it feeling nice and comfortable, and then your skin melts off. Which, if I'm being honest, if you're going to be on the receiving end of this grenade launcher, skin melting off is probably the least of your issues, so sure, that's fine. Now, this thing I'd probably describe as the love child between a Lewis gun and one of those M79 thump things. It's a hideous thing, but I think it'll do the job just fine. So let's get into the attachments a little bit. And first of all, you've got the barrels. You can have a fluted long barrel, which will increase your range accuracy, reduce that weight ever so slightly, and the value goes up. So, you know, resale value, economically, you're better off. Next, we've got the stocks. You can have a full stock if you want, or a marksman stock, which will improve your sighted accuracy and recoil and aim with scopes as well, and an improved bash because you've got more grenade launcher to hit them with. So we'll go for the marksman stock, even though I feel like it's probably a little bit more on the redundant side because it's a grenade launcher accuracy, not really a factor. Next, you've got the muzzles, which include a compensator, a muzzle brake, and a flapjack bayonet, which is a stupid thing to put on a grenade launcher because if you're up close and personal, then, well, you've made a mistake. You gotta stay back using the grenade launcher, so that's counterintuitive. Plus, you use a little bit of range for these attachments, and honestly, I'm not worried about recoil, so we'll just leave the muzzle as completely blank for now. You've also got a legendary effect provided by legendary modification. I'm very tempted to put 2-shot on this thing, but I will not. And now you've got the sights. You can have standard sights, a bit of a carry handle, a little bit like the Lewis gun. So that's kind of cool. I wonder if it'll change how you hold the thing. The answer is yes, so we'll be looking to utilize that one. There's also options for a ballistic shield, which will greatly decrease the explosive damage that you take when you are using this thing. If you get blown up by your own grenades, it'll do a little bit less because there's less fragmentations going directly into your face. There's also an option for a short scope, which for a grenade launcher, probably not super necessary, but the option is good to have, I suppose. Let's go for a ballistic shield. You're getting a little bit of Esther vibes out of this thing. Very nice indeed. You can have a pan magazine, just a standard one, or a light one, which will reduce your weight ever so slightly. Notice how the weight went up a lot after I put the ballistic shield on the front. That'll be fine, don't worry about it. Next, we've got a material. So you go standard paint, Chinese, give it a Chinese star and some greenery on it. There's a desert camo. Bit of a Gobi desert camouflage there. That's pretty neat. Got graffiti here, which has little bits and bobs. There's Nuka Girl, the Vault Boy, and Hubris Comics, and Abraxo, Red Rocket, and there's something under there. I'm not sure what that is. Voltec, have a nuke collar stuff. I think it's pretty nice, actually. That's something that you'd see on like a Fallout show on like a shelf or anything, and people make 15-minute videos. Oh, nice. It's a Star Wars reference too. 15-minute videos breaking down exactly every symbol you can see on this thing. So we'll move on from that one. You've got a Marine, which is a cool aquatic camo. Very, very nice. Swamp. Very Creation Club camo-like. You've also got Winterized. Are these from the Creation Club? I'm not sure. Look, I put my hand up and say I'm entirely unfamiliar with the Creation Club grenade launcher stuff because I kind of checked out of it. Like, I was so pissed off when they introduced the next gen and broke all my mods that I didn't even bother to go back and download legally ambiguously at that some of the Creation Club mods that they've added for the new generation. So there's a bunch of cool different camos in here. Let's go for a winterized one because it has winter in it. Next, we've got the receivers, and here's how you can boost it. And you'd think you'd get a whole lot better damage out of this thing with a powerful receiver, but no. It's relatively minuscule, and the hair trigger receiver appears to be the pick for better DPS. So, you know what? Instead of adding a slight bit of extra damage per shot, we'll go for a hair trigger and make it fire faster. That's definitely the better choice here. There you go. There's an instance where I don't use the strongest damage per shot receiver. And there it is. Anyway, so for the machine gun, pretty much got the same deal. So we'll put a stock on this thing. Legendary effect, skip that. Light pan mag again. We'll put a scope on this one. And the machine gun barrels is where it diverts a little bit. So you've got standard machine gun, which looks a little bit like an M2 Browning with that little carry handle on the bottom. And there's a M2 Browning version with like a heat shielding thinger over the top, like a colander or something you'd use to grate cheese. And you've also got this Lewis gun vented barrel, which looks awesome. Fallout 4 assault rifle-esque, although that is derivative itself of the Lewis gun, so I quite like the look of this thing a little bit. And we are getting a little bit more towards Lewis gun territory with this thing, but I still think this thing looks wastelandy and ramshackle enough to work. So we'll throw on the desert camo there, so we've got desert and snow, and a powerful receiver here will obviously be the best choice because the rate of fire bonus is nowhere near as good in terms of the DPS rating as the powerful receiver. There you go. That's our Flapjack guns, grenades, and machine gun. Let's shoot stuff. Probably should I get him first. The Flapjack grenade launcher and its machine gun counterpart are injected onto the level list at level 25. You'll find it on gunners and vendors. Trappers on the coast will carry the machine gun, and trappers in the woods may carry the grenade launchers. Like 25. Level 25, you're getting blown up by these grenade launchers, and you know, the bots, they'll keep firing them. They'll fire them all the time, and there's your machine gun. So a little bit on the expensive side, so it's good to see there's some limiting factors in there. I guess feeding them ammo and grenades is going to be a little bit of a pain too to keep them going consistently, but I've got the power of console commands and strength of will, so I can bypass that. If you're doing this legit, then you've got a little bit of work to do to feed these things. There are also two uniques located within the Commonwealth. The first one you can find the very south of the map, south even of the wreck of the FMS Northern Star. You'll find it on an unmarked lighthouse down here. And what you want to do is climb the top of the tower. And I'm going to do it with Spider-Man powers. Come on, get me up there. Yes? No? Nope. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we got it. Anyway, so climb up to the top, or use a grappling hook. I should mention, grappling hook not included. And you'll find this commie bastard, who's wearing American power armor, you absolute thief. He's carrying 40mm nuka grenades, so that's helpful. We've also got Commander Crate's helmet, which reduces damage from explosions, with a hat on the helmet, which would have made it an awfully large hat, probably for his massive head. And we've also got Commander Crate's torso, just more damage reduction, which is pretty handy to have. And Flapjack, 20% chance to cripple a target's leg, chambering the nuka grenades we just picked up from him. So, interesting. We actually got more because he had some loaded in that magazine too, so, interesting. The next unique we can find aboard the Yangtze, where Captain Zhao lives.
No sweat. The radiation did give me superpowers, though. X-ray vision. Love the leopard G-string.
Nina, you can't talk. Anyway, so the way you want to get this is we're just within the room that's adjacent to the reactor where you install the components. There's a flooded section on the southwestern side of this base, and you'll find this yellow cake thingo on the ground, that little box. you'll just pull a weapon out of it, just like that, and a little bit of extra raid damage, so that's helpful. Let's take these back to a chemistry workbench, or a weapons workbench, in fact, and do them up. Alrighty, so here we are outside of Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our Flapjack grenade launcher in first person and all of its ballistic shield glory, which you probably noticed earlier, but they did paint a little bit of a crosshair into it so you could center your screen a little bit when you aim down sights. Doesn't really help to calculate the trajectory of the grenades, but it's a cool thing to have. And a quick look in third person. It is a rather large rifle, or machine gun, what you want to call it, so it works out pretty well. And something in power armor, I think, wouldn't look too far out of place either. And the machine gun variant with the big old Lewis gun barrel on the front here looks kind of intimidating, so that's cool. This one here actually has the scope, which just is a standard vanilla game scope. I've got a different scope overlay mod to change it to more of an ACOG looking scope setup, so that's kind of cool. And the what's it called, the tunnel vision of the regular scope is being modeled out as well. Here is Flapjack, the nuclear grenade one. So this one I've chucked on a carry handle because accuracy for a nuclear grenade thing, not super useful. And just if you are wondering, we're basically firing Fat Man shells out of this thing. 24 round capacity, decent-ish reload, but the fire rate is going to be quite massive, as you'll see in a little bit later on. And here is Yellow Cake. This one's just a machine gun variant. I've left this one with iron sights, and you'll notice when you fire it, it has plasma-infused legendary effect impacts, which I think is kind of cool. And I think the sound is from the vanilla game Vertibird, so that's kind of cool. But you know what? Since all of these gunners are here, let's get started, because, well, if they're outside, we may as well just, like, carpet bomb a lot of them. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say, yeah, this thing's kind of overpowered. We'll keep going, though, because there's a lot of fun to be had with this thing, even though it is currently blowing everything away, because there's a couple of things that I want to show off. Firstly, of course, we've got just a standard little run with standard grenades, which, if you're firing as fast as a machine gun, like, nothing's getting past you. You're going to have a pretty good time against literally everything, unless you're playing in, like, a close quarters environment where you'll blow yourself up. So, yeah, you just gotta be a little bit cautious, but long, big open areas like this, you'll have a good time with. Also, in third person, funnily enough, you can see the 40mm shells eject from an ejection port, which I'm not quite sure where it is. I theorize that it ejected from, like, the bottom of the magazine, but the grenade shells themselves still have to actually enter the machine gun into its chamber to be fired. So I'm not sure exactly how these are being ejected, but we won't worry about that. Okay, that was fun. Let's do that again, but with a machine gun. In full sniper status tradition, I guess we'll start from the trailer and see how we go. Maybe we'll add a little bit of crits into the mix here, just to get ourselves some nice damage. But check out the AP usage on this thing as I'm firing it. There's really not much AP that I'm using, and if I do kill these turrets or something, we should be getting sneak criticals or just regular old criticals now, which we can increase our damage exponentially. So I guess we'll just charge right in here, and if we can make it over the gate, that's great. Now we're in gun fu territory. Every single shot that I'm getting is a crit. So if I headshot these guys, well, I'm going to kill them in just 3 shots. And the fun just keeps going because I basically use 0 AP. Even with the scope variant, or a scope attached to this thing, the AP use is so minimal that you can just blast everything away as easy as this. It does also help that we're in slow motion, so you can line up those shots way easier. So let's just go out of that for a second, because say if you want to use this thing with regular VATs, well, you'll find that utilizing a perk like a gun fu is going to be particularly potent, because we have full 10-round bursts when it comes to using this thing. And her head just goes pop just like that in the first couple of shots. And funny enough, like, despite this thing being a proper 50 cal machine gun, there's no recoil, really. It's pretty gentle on you. It's a little bit of spread and a little bit of kick if you aim down the sights, but obviously any scope is going to, you know, exaggerate the recoil a little bit. But really, it's controllable, and if you've got a good hipfire accuracy stat thanks to your, steady hands perk, you can just sort of Rambo style run up to people and just shoot them down. Very strong indeed. Okay, let's now recreate the Great War for the gunners for their educational purposes. I jumped up on the traffic lights for this. I hopped up on the trailer and jumped my way across. Got it first try too, which I thought was pretty impressive if I don't say so myself. You know what's also impressive? The amount of damage that I'm getting out of this thing. But I think that one sort of, you know, it goes without saying. There's also a little bit of a whistle that goes through the air. You probably won't be able to hear it, but there's a little bit. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's just a very faint version of the nuke of the mini nuke flying through the air, which I think is kind of cute. Okay, one more with our trusty Flapjack, which is a cool, it's actually a kind of a cool name for it. They've done well with that one. And we'll go over to our yellow cake, which, okay, we've already killed everyone there. Not a huge surprise.
Hey.
Don't think you heard anything around the back. You'll also notice, just with the Lewis gun as well, the mag does rotate around as you're firing because that's how it works. You got a pan magazine. All of the bullets are facing towards the middle, and the magazine rotates around as you're firing to chamber the next ones. Still think the coolest use of the Lewis guns were the ones they made into props for the Star Wars movies, because it's just like a random, like a pan cavity on those blaster rifles, or whatever they were called, where the pan mag should have been, but never made it. They run their bullets on something else. Okay, I'm really struggling getting up here. Let's try this. Perfect. Now, I wonder if we can actually duofire some of these guys using this thing. Yes, it happened right there. Cool. I was gonna VATS crit some of these guys just to get that done, but I don't think I need to.
That's it.
Just shreds them. Look at that. So I think this weapon is quite overpowered. I think you'd agree. So we'll go and kill some monsters now. And by the way, we've got an outfit today. This one, if you've ever played Resident Evil... Hang on, Nina, you can't be doing that. If you've ever played the Resident Evil, I believe it was 4, where Sheva could have a different costume and give her like a tribal sort of leopard print outfit like this. It works for Nina. That's where she sort of comes from. And I added that face paint stripe to emphasize that a little bit, which is staying. I did that a while ago, so yeah, we've got pretty much leopard print everything. Oh yeah, if you do want to download this for yourself, just keep in mind that it doesn't have shoes. I've just added these VTOL Wardrobe 9 shoes in with the leopard print to match the rest of it. So, let's begin. We'll shoot this one with 40mm grenades like this until he dies. Can you believe I'm missing with a weapon like this? How do you miss with the grenades? And check out all of that. Now, unfortunately, unlike your machine gun variant, this is just a 3-round burst. I don't think it's going to matter that much, though. The swan goes down already. It took like 2 seconds. Well, that was fun. Let's try something else. Okay, time to face the Wendigo. Now, if we could get a couple of these shots on these lesser bugs, we'll be able to carry some gun-free damage over to him. I believe that's a sneak critical now. Oh yeah. Just gonna tap fire this thing a little bit and we'll get the job done like that. Whoa, okay. That was a little easier than expected. Okay, now it is the night, and check out Yellow Cake's gigantic green glowy star. Isn't that nice? Anyway, so there's a big sentry bot over there. We'll start shooting him, and if he gets a little bit closer, we can hit him in VATS. We shall do that. Now, can we target these fusion cores? Oh, I think I saw something like that. Nope, we wait till he's a little bit closer. Fusion cores, there we go. Penetrator perk, waste sentry bots. Picked a good time to reload. Hit him with criticals. Look at that damage. Especially in the fusion core area. I've got no idea what he's saying, but he's already dead. That's a little light show. Cool mushroom cloud in the darkness. Okay, I think we've pretty much done everything we can except nuking some bastards. So let's do that. Also, does the sentry bot fire actually produce any light at all? No, but this certainly looks cool, doesn't it? I reckon it does. Look at that silhouette. Okay, time to nuke everything, and I'd just like to remind you that the legendary effect on this thing is, well, you might get a little bit of a chance to do some leg crippling, which I think, just quietly, is the least of their problems when it comes to being on the receiving end of this thing. Pins and needles don't really compare to being tossed around the Commonwealth by small miniature 40mm nuclear bombs. So we've tossed them into the mosquito piss pool, and so far they're not really lacking Flapjack, as it were, and there's just a random ghoul there. All right then.
Calm down.
You know what? That's one battle-hardened ghoul who I think he's the only one left, actually. I think I nuked the big blood bug off the map. Oh wait, no, he's come back. Great. Oh, he come flying at me too. A kamikaze strike to get me to hit myself. It's a cunning strategy. But unfortunately, I think I've got you covered. I think I've despawned him again. Give us time to reload at the very least. Is he going to return to his normal starting position? Because I swear he's... Oh, there's another blood bug over there. We might have to wait till he shows up again. He'll show up in a second, I'm sure. Okay, the mosquito didn't show up again, so I've instead spawned 20 gigantic Mirelurk queens, and we're going to hit him with Gunfu. So we'll see how we go. Here they come. Here come all the nukes. Look at that damage spreading. Man, look at that. Now I've got your attention. Have a crit, friends. I think I'm getting crits on everything here. Oh yeah. Look, those crits are rolling in. 5,500 damage on all of these guys. That is nuts. Alright, let's go regular speed now. I don't think I've ever had a weapon that is quite so powerful as this. This might actually be the strongest weapon I've ever used. Nothing even compares to this. So how do you change it? Well, you just bring the damage down a little bit, make the explosion smaller, make it less over the top, and you'll probably have a good enough time with this thing. We'll go back over to our 40 mils now. With the light frame receiver giving us a better rate of fire, the amount of fire rate you get out of this thing is just mental. May as well finish this off with a bit of VAT shooting straight in the face. And a crit for good measure. Look at that XP roll in. Oh, it's crazy. And all these dead Mirelurks. Yeah. I think we won. Oh, that XP is still going. Is it ever going to stop? Because one idiot savant proc in there. I think it'll be just going to keep on ticking over. It seems to stop every single time I level up. Okay. I think the XP has stopped, but I think you get the idea. So there was the Flapjack grenade launcher, and when I looked at this thing and gave it a download, I mean, I couldn't really see the weapon because the screenshots presented were just full of trash in the background, but it's aesthetically pleasing, and I think it works really well. I think the damage numbers are a little bit too crazy, though. You could argue that it's a little bit too good, so, I don't know. The machine gun, I think, is fine for what it is, but the grenade launchers just take it way over. So maybe being the limitation of ammo might be the thing that keeps this thing nice and balanced, but I mean, if you could just collect ammo like you can in a vanilla game with these 40mm grenades, then you're not really going to have too much of a difficult time just blowing enemies away like that. So it's funny. Use it in moderation, I think you'll be just fine, but if you want a primary weapon this thing, then go right ahead. You can blow everything else up, probably including yourself. Just be wary of that, but worth a download if you're interested. Check out the link in the description, it'll be down there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.